So we're starting with parasitology and the different ways that they can live with a host, that the parasites can live with a host. So we've got symbiosis, which is just simply living together. And that's the relationship between the parasite and the host. So relationship between parasite and host. So that is simply the relationship. It's not any kind of specific relationship. And then so we'll start on our different kinds. So the first kind is mutualism. Mutualism. So what does that sound like? Mutual, right? So both parasite and host benefit. They have a mutual benefit.
So they benefit each other, but they don't harm each other.
Correct. Just like you know, the big one that they say for things like this is the sea anemone and the clownfish. So the clownfish gets protected by the sea anemone, and it's like stinging, and then the anemone gets to eat any kind of leftover food that's like hanging on to the clownfish. So they both benefit.
Okay.
They have a mutual benefit. And then commensalism is going to be where the parasite benefits, but the host is unaffected. So parasite benefits, host unaffected. Okay, so this one's using like tree frogs use plants as protection. They don't benefit the plant, but they don't hurt the plant. Cattle egrets eat the insects stirred up by cattle when they are grazing, but they don't hurt the cattle. So commensalism is pretty much where, hold on, that's the wrong one. Where the parasite benefits, but the host is unaffected. It doesn't harm them. It's not killing them in the long run. And then there's neutralism. What does that sound like? Neutral?
Neutral.
Yeah. So the difference between neutral and mutual, mutual is for a mutual benefit, but neutral is just unaffected. So parasite unaffected, host unaffected. There's one of these parasites we're going to go over that has an intermediate host of a beaver, and it doesn't bother the beaver at all being in it, but it's really harmful to humans. And so I think we'll go over that one at some point too. Is a good example of neutralism. For the beaver, it's neutralistic. For a human, it's parasitism. So your parasitism is a parasite benefits at the expense of the host. So what does that mean? If the parasite benefits at the expense of the host.
That it gets what it wants from the host, but it can harm it. It
Correct.
can harm the host.
Yes, and there's two ways that there's two forms of parasitism. One is successful. A successful parasite establishes like an equilibrium with the host so both can exist. So it still benefits at the expense of the host, but long term, the host exists. And then there's unsuccessful, where it does not establish an equilibrium with the host. So the host either has to expel the parasite, destroy the parasite, or the parasite kills host. So there's three outcomes. So either the host expels parasite, and what does that mean?
Kind kind of like throws it back up, gets rid of it out of its system, or?
Yes, yeah, you get it out of your system, either throwing it up or excreting it through your bowels. And then the next one is a hoist. The host destroys the parasite. So if you take medication to destroy them, or if you your white cells go in and take over. What's your big white cell for parasites?
Lymphocyte?
Not quite. That's going to be your viral.
Leukocytes?
They're all leukocytes. So it is one of the leukocytes. It's going to be your eosinophils.
Eosinophils. I know that. It's in the chapter like 150,000 times.
Yep. So your eos are
I don't know why it didn't stick out.
And then the last outcome of an unsuccessful parasite is the parasite will kill the host. Which you're like, yeah, it did its job. But no, because once it kills its host, it has to find a new one. And there's not a lot of them that can live. There's strongyloides can live without a host, but most of them can't live very long outside of a body